you're like me, you completely forgot about MerMay. So to make up for that, I drew both Filmation Mermista and Reboot Mermista. Mermista and Filmation was always one of my favorite princesses out of the series. I always loved her long blue hair along with her very gorgeous tail. I have never drawn a mermaid up until this point, hence why I used a base for this so I can kind of get the hang of it. I also used this same base reference for day 2 for She-Ra and the Princesses of Power Mermista. But on day 3, I finally got the hang of drawing a tail, so I'm no longer using the base reference. I'm going to continue drawing tails of these very long and flowy because that very much suits my art style. As we see with how I draw hair, eyelashes, and occasionally even noses. Mermista, like the original Filmation in general, was this very gorgeous, very powerful mermaid. Yet she also embodied power. She could take on monsters that were like 5 to 10 times her size, hence why I love her so much. Reboot and original, she's just a powerhouse. One thing though I will not be doing is drawing those scales again. That was a pain. Day 2 of MerMay, Mermista from She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. Though I have my issues with this version of Mermista, it's mainly just about her personality. So I did love her design. Honestly, it was a shame she didn't use the tail as much as she did in the Filmation series. Like her Filmation counterpart, she is still a total powerhouse. I am glad she was utilized more, but in season 5, we really saw a decline in her character. She went from this badass, don't take shit from anyone, to crying about her kingdom being overthrown. Add that with the comment she made about Entrapta, and I just no longer cared for her character, like I did in earlier seasons. But outside of that, I did enjoy drawing her. And here is the final Day 3 of MerMay, Percy Jackson. I've recently been on a Percy Jackson kick lately in fandom and decided to revisit my old female Percy Jackson design. I loved the pose this lovely woman was doing, so I used her as my reference. Percy Jackson has always been a series that I have just loved. It was actually the first book series I ever finished. I still haven't finished the Harry Potter books, but I damn well finished the Percy Jackson ones. As you see, I have stuck with the long and elegant tails, especially with Percy technically being a sea prince and I will die on that hill. It made sense for her tail to be very elegant and long and flowy to me. I will not lie, I am a huge Polo shipper. Don't get me wrong, I ship Percy with Annabeth as well. They were my first OTP and I was glad they became canon. But I like to divert from canon once in a while. Hence why she is dancing in the sunlight. Once I took away the reference, you can see how much I have improved when it comes to stylizing my art, and it makes me happy to see how Percy turned out the first time I drew her to now. This is probably my favorite piece that I have done so far. It's very pretty and detailed, and I feel like I managed to capture a good amount of elegance with this version of Percy. Day 4 of MerMay, Merman from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. A lot of y'all probably know is that I'm a huge He-Man fan, so I decided to draw the king of the Eternian Seas himself, Merman. He doesn't actually have a tail in the actual series, but why not give him one? I really struggled to draw his face because I have never ever drawn this character before. As you see, I just gave up and went over the Revelations version of his face and adjusted it to the pose I had drawn. This is a character you really don't want to get on a bad side with because he is extremely powerful and can control creatures up to like 10 to 20 times his size. While he is mainly known for his trident, I just wanted to draw the sword instead. I feel like the sword is underutilized and, well, it was easier to draw a sword than a trident. I really like how his tail turned out, and I made it match up with the boots that he wears, so here we go. MerMay, Day 5, Aquaman. I almost didn't get this one done in time, but thankfully, last few hours of Day 5, I just blew right through it. As you see in the reference panel that I used, Aquaman actually got turned into a mermaid in the early DC comics, which I thought was really cool. I'm back on a small DC kick, so we'll be getting a couple DC characters in the next couple days of MerMay. He was really fun to do. I had a tough time with Trident though. I hate drawing weapons and hands, but I got to get the hang of it eventually, and practice makes perfect. If y'all want to see more of my art, it would mean the world to me if y'all can leave a like and a comment and give me a follow. I'm trying to get up to 10K on social media because I would eventually like to make this my full-time job. But to do that, I have to keep practicing and trying to build up a following. So if y'all could just hit that follow button, it would mean the world to me. Have a nice day. MerMay Day 6. I got a little bit behind, but I'm finally catching up, thankfully. So here's Day 6 of MerMay, where I have decided to draw my take on Clark Kent as a merman and my female Bruce Wayne design, because I just felt like drawing her again. It's been a while since I've drawn my girl. Superbat is honestly just one of my OTPs, and I was bound to do something for them for MerMay this year. Like I said in my Aquaman video, which was my last MerMay video that completely flopped even though I uploaded it twice, I'm on a bit of a DC kick. Honestly, this one was a little bit hard. As you see, I went out of my way to hide Bryce's feet. Bryce is the name for the female Bruce Wayne in my AU. So I basically just went out of my way to hide that foot over there. I started sketching in pink. I really like how it turns out. And as you see when I'm coloring this, I kind of got the dress and Clark's tail a little bit messed up. And I don't know why, but I've been really enjoying just drawing the sunlight hitting the water. I don't know what it is. I think now that I got a hang of it, I'm going to keep doing it. It's just very pretty and it's very calming and I love it. I'm not gonna lie, I've been reusing a couple backgrounds because like I like the backgrounds and why not? Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm finally wrapping up this piece with the coloring. And as you see, it took me a minute to actually make Bryce's dress look like a dress. It looked like paper first. But after a couple more tries, I finally got it to look like a dress floating in the water. That is something I definitely need to work more on because it still looks a little bit stiff, but overall I really like how this turned out and I hope y'all do it too. Don't forget to give me a like and a follow and a comment. It would mean the world to me. Have a nice day. MerMay Day 7 Bruce Wayne gender swap. As you see, I once again went back to using a base because I wanted to use a really dynamic pose for this day. And I was in the mood to draw my female Bruce Wayne again. Bruce Wayne actually did get turned into a mermaid in early DC comics, and I found that really interesting. Hence why I'm using Bruce Wayne today. After I had the base sketched out, I went to town on the scales and used other art references and artists that have drawn a mermaid Bruce Wayne before, because their mermaid take on him just seemed very in character. I added the pearl necklace because every time I draw a female Bruce Wayne, I like to include her with her mother's pearls. I had a lot of fun coloring this one. It was just really fun to draw because I just love Batman in general. One of my favorite characters next to He-Man. I felt like the gold scales really tied in the fact that Bruce Wayne is very rich and wealthy. And once again, the gold on the bat suit. I wanted to make her look very carefree, hence why I used this pose, because I need more happy Bruce Wayne in my life. So she's just vibing and swimming and just having a good time. Once again, it'd mean a lot if y'all could like, follow, and comment, and have a lovely day. God, you look so happy and it makes me happy. MerMay Day 8 Percy Jackson again. As I stated in my last Percy Jackson video, I am a huge Polo shipper and I just have been in a good mood and I wanted to draw my female Percy again. I really enjoy drawing her, especially if Apollo is with her. And like I said, I like drawing Percy. I love drawing her hair. It's very full and fluffy and just something that makes me happy. I decided to draw them together because I wanted to have her being held up. And given my last Percy Jackson piece, it just seems very fitting to me. I drew Percy with a very happy, carefree expression because, well, Percy deserves happiness. I will die on this hill. Once again, it would mean the world to me if y'all could like, follow, and share and leave a comment. It means a lot, and I am trying to build my following up a bit. I would like to reach 10K by the end of this year. And back to Percy. I understand if people don't like this ship, but it's just one of my favorites next to Annabeth and Percy, you know? And as I've stated before, there's nothing wrong with diverting from canon. And as you see, I struggled a little bit with Apollo's muscles, so I had to pull up my Duncan reference to try and get his arms just right. And I don't know the name of the artist that does the Percy Jackson piece that I was using for my Percy Jackson Apollo in this, but I love their stuff, and honestly that's usually how I pick characters. Everyone have a lovely day. MerMay, Day 9, Prince Adam, Masters of the Universe, Revelations. As a lot of y'all know, I'm a huge He-Man fan, and today I decided to draw Prince Adam from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, more specifically his Revelations counterpart. Honestly, Revelations Adam is everything I've ever wanted in a depiction of Adam. He is tiny compared to regular Eternians. He looks more human, more like his mother, and I'm a sucker for that. I know Revelations got a lot of backlash for a lot of silly reasons in my opinion, but it's a really good He-Man, well, not He-Man, but Masters of the Universe continuations. I had a lot of fun drawing my boy, and I gave him the pink tail and with a little bit of purple to go with his classic color scheme. I'm not gonna lie, I gave up on the background. I just wanted him on a beach. Does it look shoddy? Yes, but what matters is I had fun, and I hope y'all enjoy this piece. So please give me a like and a follow, share, and all that jazz, and help me get to 10K. MerMay, Day 10, Calamaria. Okay, so the reason why we don't have a speed paint with this one is because it was just a re-upload, and I really enjoyed this piece, and I should get more love. A lot of people really like Calamaria. She's also one of my favorites, character design-wise. She's just very beautiful and very powerful, and I like that she has a belly and it is shown. Cuphead is a game that I really love, but I was never able to win because it was just too dang hard. Even playing with my dad, I couldn't beat it. So yeah, here's my girl, Calamaria. Once again, please give me a like, follow, share, and a comment. I'm trying to build up my following on TikTok and just social media in general. And y'all have a very lovely and wonderful day. And at the end of the day, I do have a Friday the 13th piece for MerMay, and I hope y'all like it. And I know I already said it, but have a lovely day, my beautiful people. MerMay, Day 11, The Little Mermaid, Princess Ariel. Now, y'all really didn't think I'd be going through MerMay without doing the OG girl herself, Ariel. The Little Mermaid was my favorite Disney movie growing up as a kid, so of course I would draw her. I always loved Ariel's energy, and she's probably the main reason why I'm a collector myself. I feel like I could have done better when drawing her pose, but I was just trying to get this done and catch up to the 13th. So I could do a special one for Friday the 13th, like I did with May the 4th. I tried to draw my girl dancing, and I honestly don't feel like it turned out the best, but hey, what can you do? Well, I can do better. I hope y'all do enjoy this piece though, and like I've said in past videos, please give me a like, a comment, and a share, and a follow because I'm trying to build up my following. And y'all have a very lovely day. Seriously, I do like how her tail turned out. I just wish it looked more fluid. Bye-bye. MerMay, Day 12, Percy Jackson, again. Like I said, I like Percy Jackson. I've been on a Percy Jackson kick. I once again used the base because I really, really loved this pose these two mermaids were in, and I kind of went from there. I wish Triton and Percy had a more established relationship in the book series, and I do like to think they eventually do get along and have a really good sibling bond. So I decided to just have them chilling in the ocean, just vibing. Now I'm not sure who this artist is, but if you look up Percy Jackson and the Olympians Triton, their art pulls up. And ironically, they actually did that piece for MerMay 2020, and I thought that was really, really cool. I really like how they turned out in the end, and I'm not gonna lie, I just love doing Percy hair. It's very fun and floofy, and it makes my day. And I think I got the water just making her hair float down. I think adding the gray is probably my favorite part of drawing Percy. I just love doing that gray hair of hers. And I once again put in a little her polo Easter egg with her armband, having a little sun on it. But yeah, I really like how this piece turned out. I struggled with trying dyes, but I eventually got it down. Please give me a like, follow, share, and comment. I can build out my following to 10K by the end of this year. Y'all have a lovely day. I am finally caught up on MerMay, and now we are on Friday the 13th. And I decided to do Jason Voorhees. Now, my dad walked in on me doing this one, and he pointed out that Jason was actually terrified of the water in the movies, because that was how he died. And silly me had forgotten all about that somehow. But hey, I might be doing Freddy Krueger tomorrow as a way to play off that. And I'm not gonna lie, by the time he said that, I was so far in this piece that I'm just like, I'm not stopping. And I do hope y'all like this one. I once again used the base for this one because I was trying to get it done. MerMay, day 14, The Little Mermaid. So after Friday the 13th, I lost my Apple Pencil and I finally got one in, and I'm finally catching up once more. I found another good base that I roughly sketched out again and decided to draw Mermaid Ariel and Eric dancing in the water because I just really love the base. I had a lot of fun drawing the tails and the scales, of course. And the hair usually being my favorite part to draw on any piece. I like to make the hair very flowy and fluid even if they're not in water. It's just one of my favorite things to draw. But overall, I'm once again having to catch up on MerMay because this time I lost my freaking pencil. But I finally got one again, so yeah, here we are. MerMay, day 15, Darkwing Duck. I decided to bring back my human design for Drake Mallard for this one, and I had a lot of fun drawing her again. I think my favorite detail is that I made the Darkwing Duck mask into scales instead of the regular mask. I had a lot of trouble drawing her hands on this one, but hey, hands are just a pain. I usually find a photograph of a hand and I'll usually go over that, but I went back to traditional for this one. Overall, I had a blast drawing Darkwing Duck again, so yeah. MerMay, day 16, Deku for My Hero Academia. I haven't done anything My Hero Academia related in a long time, so I decided to bring back my female Deku. And with all the controversy that's been going around about aging up a character, I decided to do my own take on an aged up Deku. Because at the end of the day, aging up a character, really, it's not that deep. Let's be honest, it's just more fun to draw. But yeah, I had a lot of fun drawing her. As you see, I went back to traditional for a little bit, mainly because I lost my Apple Pencil, but I got one back. MerMay, day 17, Evelyn. As I stated in the beginning of these MerMay posts that I started doing, I'm a huge He-Man fan. And ignore the beginning part here, I was just explaining how wild color theory can be to my boyfriend here. So as you see, I use the Revelations Evelyn and the 2002 Evelyn as my main point of reference for this piece. Mainly because those designs are more well known than the Filmation one. And honestly, I just wanted to draw that little fluffy hair that she's got going on. But yeah, I had a lot of fun drawing her, and here she is. Let's face it, she is really underrated. So let's hype her up some. MerMay, day 18, Mindy from SpongeBob. Honestly, I was just trying to think of other actual mermaid characters at this point when I suddenly remembered Mindy from the SpongeBob movie. Honestly, it's a shame we haven't really seen her outside of that, because honestly, she was one of my favorite characters. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm probably about to go rewatch that movie once I get all these done. Mindy was just very charming and adorable, and I loved her as a kid. She was my favorite character, especially with how she encouraged SpongeBob and Patrick to be themselves, even though that all kind of got ruined by the biker dude. But yeah, here she is. MerMay, day 19, even more per polo. Listen, y'all can pry this ship from my cold, dead hands. It is a cute ship, and I love it, okay? And honestly, I love drawing Percy, especially my female Percy design. She is adorable, and I love her. Especially the little tufts of gray in her hair. They're my favorite part of any piece, is to draw the gray, because it just pops, you know? I'm actually showing a bit more of her hand, so I tried to remember to actually make her palm colored. And as you see, I actually used a couple other Apollo references. I used the one, was not using the Lore Olympus version, I was using the Blood of Zeus version. Also, is anyone else really tired of Hera being depicted as a villain? I'm really tired of it. She's not evil. Neither is Hades. I'm looking at you, Disney. But yeah, honestly, I had a lot of fun doing this. Once again, the hair was my favorite. It was just poofy. Like, I need more characters with poofy hair. And I was trying to give Apollo that little glow because sun god, and I finally managed to get it down, and it is amazing what a light pen will do. I actually had to double check. MerMay Day 20 Queen Ariel. Once again, had a lot of fun. Honestly, I wish we would have gone to see a Queen Ariel in the actual movies, but given how she ended up with Eric, that wouldn't have happened. And she was also the youngest sister. But I had a lot of fun with her. Here she is. I kind of went crazy with the hair again because, as I keep saying, favorite part. Also, that crown looks cute, and yeah. So here she is. MerMay Day 21, Michael Myers. I was originally going to draw Vanessa from The Little Mermaid, which is the Ursula's human disguise, but I changed my mind, and a lot of people were suggesting I draw more horror characters after my Friday the 13th piece on Discord. And I've been meaning to draw more men lately anyway, so I decided to go for it. I had a lot of fun drawing him. I'm gonna be honest, I don't watch a lot of horror movies, but I have seen the classics like Nightmare on Elm, Halloween, Carrie, and the Leprechaun movies. If you can consider the Leprechaun horror, I guess it'd be comedy horror? I don't know. According to one guy on Discord, he felt like I made the tail too long, but I like long flowy tails, so yeah. I was actually really worried with how the mask was going to turn out, but though not as rough as I wanted it to look, I felt like it turned out real well. So while I do need to practice drawing arms and hands more, I do like how this turned out. MerMay Day 22, Freddy Krueger. When I tell you, I will never draw this motherfucker again. I mean, I will never draw him again. Do not get me wrong, I love these movies, I love these characters, but I hated drawing this man. Had a lot of fun with the tail, but the scars, the burn scars, are what got me. I just gave up. I'm not gonna lie, I just grew scratches along his face, and I gave up. And I tell you, those scars were a pain for me, I mean it. Which is weird, because I have drawn burn scars before. Look at my Michael Afton post, but I'm not Michael Afton post. I had a reference, and I didn't use the reference this time because, oh, I got it down. No, I did not have it. I did not understand. I do not know how to draw this man. I will never draw this man again. Good day to you, sir. Oh yeah, this is probably my worst one for MerMay, but I don't care. He's done. MerMay Day 23, Carrie White from Stephen King's Carrie. Carrie is actually one of my favorite horror movies ever, though sometimes it can be a little hard for me to watch. Not gonna lie about that, because of the abuse Carrie endured from her mother and just her school life. But I still love her character. So when I started doing the horror movie characters, I knew that I was going to have to do Carrie eventually. I really like how this one turned out. As you see, I used the camp counselor Jason series for my reference for this one because I really like how they draw Carrie. And I felt a white tail would very much suit Carrie's character, given just how innocent she really is, with the hints of red kind of foreshadowing to the blood, and of course the blood effects in the water. This is MerMay Day 24, Peter Parker from Spider-Man. Spider-Man is probably one of my favorite superheroes of all time, surprising probably no one. He was the first male superhero I really got into because when I was little I wanted to read about girl superheroes, the only exception being Spider-Man. I struggled a little bit with this one with his pose. and mainly the background, because I found out today I can't draw a spider web, so I'm going to have to practice that later. I really like how this one turned out. I wanted to capture just the sassiness that is Peter Parker. Honestly, and when it comes to the fandom, we don't see enough of that side of him. He's usually portrayed as the cinnamon roll, which, don't get me wrong, he is, but he has so much sass and will not take shit from anyone. This man beat the Kingpin within an inch of his life. And you know what? We love him for it. And I just realized I did not put any shadows with his eyes, which is part of my short rendering process. I kind of just threw a semi-background together that kind of looks like a cape, but let's be real, it's just blotches. But I got them done, I had fun, and that's all that matters. The only thing I don't really like about this piece is the white stripe I decided to add, but oh well. MerMay, Day 25, Wonder Woman. I figured I'd done Superman, I'd done Batman, let's finish off the Trinity by doing Wonder Woman herself. Wonder Woman is probably one of my favorite superheroines of all time, alongside with characters like She-Ra and Supergirl and Batgirl. She was one of the first big-name comic book heroes I really got into when I was a child, so I thought it would only be fair for me to draw her for MerMay. I like to draw her with a slightly darker skin tone, especially given how she's Greek, lives on an island that is sunny like 99.9% of the time, so it makes sense for her to have some melatonin, you know? Wonder Woman for me is the embodiment of femininity and badassery, and I love her. The creator of Wonder Woman, if you look him up, he was also pretty cool. I recently read a little bit about him, and it was just amazing how far ahead this man was. So yeah, MerMay, Day 26, the Baroness from G.I. Joe. The Baroness is probably one of the most iconic villainesses of all time. She is the icon, she is the moment, and we love her for it. Let's face it, she has Destro wrapped around her finger. I drew this one as a gift from an online friend of mine because the Baroness is probably one of her favorite characters of all time. Her and Destro are her true OTP. And while I personally have a preference for the heroes, I love people that love the villains, because let's face it, at times the villains can be a bit more interesting. It's a shame that G.I. Joe just cannot seem to do well in theaters right now, because it's one of the most diverse cartoons I grew up watching, but it just cannot seem to do well in theaters. I wanted to give her abs, and the moment I shared it on Discord, I already had people saying that they wished to be crushed by her, and I love that. MerMay, Day 27, G.I. Joe, Destro. Day 26, I did Anastasia, the Baroness, so I thought it'd only be fair for me to draw her man as well. The Baroness and Destro are basically Gomez and Morticia Addams, but legit evil. But this man, I love this man. He is classy, he is respectful, he is hot. So, add all that, so there must be something wrong with him, right? Well, he works for Cobra. He is a villain. That is what's wrong with him. But even then, like, he is one of the most interesting villains in media, in my opinion. His metal mask, though, I hate drawing that. I'm going to have to practice drawing that a bit more. I color dropped the skin, and honestly, he was a bit more darker than I expected. I was honestly surprised. Not complaining, it just shocks me. MerMay, Day 28, Adora from She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. All the way back in the beginning of MerMay, Day 9 to be more specific, I did Prince Adam from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And I knew I eventually wanted to do Princess Adora, Prince Adam's twin sister. I decided to do the 2018 version because she is more well known than her original Filmation counterpart. Now, something I will not stand for on my channel is Filmation She-Ra hate. I understand that a lot of people prefer the reboot, but let's face it, Filmation walked, so 2018 could run. Honestly, I just enjoy drawing the twins of Grayskull. As I've stated multiple times, they are just some of my favorite characters of all time. They are the main reasons I have grown to be the person I am and why I try to be kind to everyone, because that's what they taught us. To be kind, be a decent person, and to help others when you could. And I feel like with everything going on in the world, we all need that kind of person in our lives. MerMay, Day 29, Ben Tennyson. I actually did not grow up watching Ben 10. I only really watched it so that I could read a fan fiction a friend of mine was writing. Their username is Emery the Merlin. Highly recommend their work. They do a lot of gender swap, and overall, they're just an amazing writer. They go by the same name on TikTok, so please go give them a follow. I'm actually going to tag them in this video because, like I said, they are the reason I got into Ben 10. And also the reason I'm going to eventually start watching Teen Wolf. Honestly, I did this piece as more of a surprise for her because they have just gotten me through some times in life. And while this piece isn't the best and I accidentally put the Omnitrix on the wrong side, I wanted to do something nice for her. MerMay, Day 30, Princess Melody from The Little Mermaid 2. I'm happy that I finally got to do Melody eventually because I feel like she is a very underrated princess in Disney. While I just struggled to find a character I did want to draw, I finally settled on Melody. I was originally going to do Barry Allen from The Flash, but I just could not get that one done in the way I wanted. And frankly, I don't know who I'm going to do yet for Day 31. I'll probably decide tomorrow. But as of the time of this video, I actually recorded this on Day 29 because I had gotten it done because I mainly just went over that picture of Melody I have pulled up right there and translated it to my style. When I sell these prints at the con, I'm actually going to have this one be kind of a freebie for people. So yeah.